Please forgive me, okay? Between us, there was static in my microphone. So you're going to hear it a little bit. It's not your computer. It was my mic. But finish the full episode, enjoy it, and you'll be
FTX.
happy you did. Take care. Thank you again.
Let it go. The number two is the most important number in the world. I'll tell you just a moment. Wait. I need to tell you this. I had a rich dad, poor dad experience, right? Robert Kiyosaki. When I moved out to Hermosa Beach when I was 15, my uncle was the rich dad. He told me this story. I don't know why he said it all the time. It was like in those special moments, he would bring it up. He would say, when I married your auntie, the choice was between her and another woman I was dating. I was dating both of them at the same time, he said. I guess he was proud because he made the right option. They've been married about 60 years. That's amazing. It's very interesting because people forget they have a third option. Virtually, as you know, opting out can be the third option because you can opt out of anything, right? It doesn't have to be the two boyfriends, girlfriend. It doesn't have to be those two jobs. You can create a job, pick another job. But virtually, you can opt out of anything and find something else. We're always on both ends of the spectrum, right? Hopping off the spectrum seems to never be a thing or discussed often enough. I believe that's what Kanye meant when he said slavery was a choice, even though it sounds kind of cruel, but you could die. I think that's what he meant. I remember reading Eli when I was a kid, and that was a touching book. He said that when the Jews were walking into the concentration camps or the work camps, at the top of one of the camps was a sign, and whatever language it was, it meant work for freedom, but freedom was death. So I think sometimes people will give you a third option, but they won't always tell you that you may not come back from it. So when we look at things on television, when we look at things on the internet, you may notice that it's a distraction a lot of the times, right? And a lot of these companies, they get paid when your eyeballs touches the screen that they're on. You gotta remember that, because a person was complaining online. I was reading this comment, and he was talking about a particular podcast. I don't want to say any names, but he's like, you guys keep highlighting the negativity about FTX, and why don't you talk about what crypto is supposed to be for, the projects going on, the financial sovereignty that we're working for. Why don't you talk about the progressive things? That sounds nice. Do you notice that tech media in general, seems to be always distracting us? And the thing about distraction is it's being nominalized. It's not like something that you pick up and put down. A distraction is a process that can be deliberately facilitated to you directly, and you don't even know what information that you're not getting, that you're supposed to get or need to get, that becomes progressive for you. When you're constantly distracted, distraction means to be pulled apart, to be separated in two. Distorted. Your thoughts are being distorted, confused, and what happens is that third option I was just saying before, that media or that person or that thing, news outlet or whatever, that YouTube channel becomes your third option to rely on, to not be scared anymore, to not be afraid of what's going to happen anymore. So they're going to keep giving you the same fear because it works, because you keep coming back and the same thing just keeps happening. FTX is done. We're in the beginning of one of the biggest and new industries in history, and things like this are going to happen and continue to happen with a lot of things in life. Unfortunately, it had to be, it's messed up because you trust an institution that you put your money in, and that institution just buy money. I don't know why they didn't do like a reserve banking kind of thing, what they do at the banks. I guess they just wasted everybody's money, just blew through it. However it happened, it's not going to change. And it's not just FTX, it's the media. I remember when COVID first came out, it was like every second, every day, I was reading or watching the news and people were getting better. And then the next day, they were dying at record numbers. And then the next day, they're getting better. And then the next day, they're getting worse. Which one is it? So it seems like fear is the number one tool being put into a form of distraction like media to continue splitting you apart shattering your focus. And you rely on that pain, that fear, like it's a drug, because the same people that you're getting your fear from, you're getting an antidote from, except the antidote is just good enough to make sure you come back again and again and again and again.
So when you split anything in two, you've automatically created an opposition, because the opposition is born because it's a adverse effect to the original thing that you split. So if you're one person and you are single and you get into a relationship, then you have two people, and two people that form a relationship usually have a push and pull, ebb and flow in the actions. It's a compromise. You may have a relationship that works out if it's the right one or not. In the United States, it's almost about maybe just over a 50% divorce rate. So you see how that works out. But the gravitational pull and magnetic effect of planets, that kind of ebb and flow, that can be a good thing, because then the opposing forces sustain planets in solar system in space. Fear-based news, because it's being distributed like an insane amount, and it turns us against ourselves. So they say we have a conscious. They say we have a subconscious. I don't believe that. I believe that we have one conscious with unconscious patterns of behavior. But anyways, you start telling people that, and your body is telling you yes, and your mind's telling you no. And people get into this relationship with themselves after taking in so much fear-based media and other things, that they develop this confusion and a strain on their brain. And science tells us even that if you take in things that make you stressful, then you can have a weakened immune system because of it, and you die sooner than expected. So the list is too long to show what it does to the mind of splitting it apart too much and for too long. At the end of the day, adversity can make you, because opposing forces aren't necessarily bad all the time, but for too long, anything opposing you can be, and it can be your fate. Count up.